Hello, everyone. It is a wonderful day to be alive. Happy Tactful Thursday. Yes, let me tell you what heart leaders are doing today. Today, we're being intentional and reflecting on some crucial conversations we need to have and using tact. And one of the things that helps me to better use tact, I'm not all the way there, I'm getting better. For those of you who you know me, I'm getting better at it. I'm trying to put more intention and purpose in what I do and what I say and how I say it. But the model that I use is the poise model. And so let me just kind of give you some free tips here. And that poise model that I established is this: P, to be patient. Sometimes we want to rush crucial conversations. We want it to be quick because we go into it saying that this is what I have to say to someone instead of giving room and allowing that conversation to breathe and giving time for that person to respond. We need to be patient, okay? And then we need to be positive. Yes, like expect a good outcome from this crucial conversation. If we go into it thinking that the worst is going to happen, that this person is absolutely going to be upset, you don't know what their prayer life has been like. You don't know if you're getting ready to actually answer a prayer, no matter how difficult you think it is. You just never know. And so let's go into these conversations being positive. Okay. So that's P. Be patient and positive. O, be open minded. Be open minded to the fact that you don't know everything. Be open minded to the fact that your mind might be the one that needs to change, not the other person's. We need to be open minded and open minded to the possibility that the conversation could go in other areas. Now, definitely, if you're the one presenting it, you do want to have some, constraints, but as to where the conversation goes and being intentional and saying, I would love to hear more about that. However, this conversation is specifically about this, okay? Redirect in a positive way. But at the same time, just being open minded, okay, to the fact that maybe it's your mind that needs to change and not someone else's. Okay, so that's O. I, be informative. Okay. I know it's our kind of culture or kind of this new age thinking of I don't owe anyone an explanation. I don't owe the facts. You get your own information. You follow up yourself. Well, that's the way to communicate. Yes. Is it the most effective way? No, it's not. Okay. The more information you can provide, facts, details, data to support what you're saying, the better. Okay. And then, so this be sincere. Y'all, what comes from the heart reaches the heart, no matter how difficult this crucial conversation is. Okay. And people can sense transparency. All right. So be sincere about what you're saying, how you're saying it. Even if you don't use the right words, knowing that it's coming from the right place will still make all the difference in the world. Okay. So that's S. And then E, be encouraging. Difficult conversations are already difficult. They're already hard. They're already challenging. Find some light at the end of the tunnel, right? Find the silver lining in the cloud that you can present to say, you know what? But even in this, I still see the progress we're making. Even in this, I know that things are going to work out. Even in this, okay? We're going to pray for wisdom, and I know that we're going to find the solution that we need. Be encouraging. So that's how we can be more tactful. So I just wanted to throw this in there. This has nothing to do with the episode you're watching, okay? But there you go. You're welcome. Everyone, my name is Dr. Wanita Mercer, and I am the founder and chief heart leader at Lead My Heart Executive Coaching and Consulting. This is my company, my baby, and it's about me just sharing my heart with you all to help you be everything that God has called you to be. God has called you to leadership. You didn't just stumble into it on your own, but it's an appointment, an assignment that you've been given. And my role is to just partner with you in helping you be the best leader that you can be. Okay. And so what you're watching is episode number three, the third and final episode of this series called Alignment and Balance in Executive Leadership. So yes, it's specifically, targeted to executive leaders, but let me tell you something. Come here. If you're not an executive, or if you're not in the C-suite, or you're not a middle manager, it's still okay. You're still going to watch this, and you're going to learn so many great tips that you can apply not only to your work life and the position that you're in, but to your personal life too. Okay, so this is still a great episode to watch. And then also, if you desire to be in C-suite, if you desire to be an executive leader, let me tell you, you need to be watching this because you need to know what you're getting yourself into. Okay. So it's important. It's important to understand what the role requires, your role and responsibilities, and how to make it work, how to manage it well. Because in leadership, you're not just leading others. Okay. There's also the component of followership of how others lead you. Not only, and that doesn't matter if you're the CEO. If you're the CEO, you still have a board of directors you need to be accountable to. And most importantly, you have got to be submitted to and accountable to, right? And then the third leadership caveat here is heartpreneurship, how we lead ourselves. And so that's what I'm really talking to you in these series, in these episodes about, is that heartpreneurship, that being that better intent, or more effectively managing our work life and our personal life, bringing congruency to the two so it's a fluid, one life, okay? Not work and then life. No, 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 no. One life. But how do we lead ourselves in a better way so that we can be more effective? So that's what this series is all about. So again, this is episode 3. If you missed episode 1 and 2, go check it out. You're missing some good stuff, okay? Don't miss the good stuff. So definitely go check it out. So before we get into content, you know exactly what I want you to do. I want you to like this video. I want you to love this video. I want you to share it on your timeline, share it in groups that you know this would be a blessing to, okay? Tag some people that you know need this information, some executives in your life, some C-suite leaders in your life, okay? Let them know, hey, I got you. This is some great information to help us get alignment and balance, okay, in our life. Also, comment, let me know that you're here, say hello, ask questions, but I also invite you to be a part of my learning community. Share some great advice, share some insights, some experiences that you've had. Let's all learn from each other, okay? I'm certainly not the expert on everything. I don't claim to be, I'm not. But certainly there's some things that you can add to this, so please do. I invite you to do that. And then react. Throw up those hearts, throw up those likes, the sad faces, when I say things, because I keep it real here. And some things are hard truths to swallow, Um, but it doesn't mean that it's not something still that will benefit us. But yeah, it can be some hard truths sometimes, and that's okay. And then for those of you who are watching on YouTube, what I want you to do is subscribe to this channel, okay? Hit the subscribe button, and then also go and ring that bell. And what that's going to do is allow you to get notifications anytime I upload a new video or go live, so you don't miss any great content, okay? I understand that you may not always be able to catch me live, but definitely write it in your schedule, put it on your calendar for you to go back and watch these episodes that are truly, truly going to bless you, okay? So, y'all, it's episode 3. Let's get into talking about the grace of knowing your season. Yes, yes, yes. Because don't you know that there's seasons? There's seasons of life. Y'all, look at this. I love this picture. I'm going to zoom in. Isn't this beautiful? Look at that. It's basically illustrating here the different seasons of life that we have. You have winter, you have autumn, you have, summer and spring here, all in this one picture. And Even though what we like to say is like, there's only one winter can't happen at the same time as autumn, right? In our life, we know, yes, it's happening all over the world at one time, but for us, it's like, it's winter, right? And then we go into spring, and then we go into summer, and then we fall, and it's a cycle. But I do want us to understand that when we're talking about the importance of work personal life balance, not work life balance, because I've been very clear in this series to differentiate the two between people saying work life balance and in pursuit of work personal life balance. Because when you say work life balance, it's as if you're alluding to a dichotomy, that these are two opposing entities in your life, that there's only work and then there's only life, or like work isn't life and life isn't work. Y'all, you have one life, and life doesn't begin when you clock out at the end of the day, or when you close that laptop, okay, or when you go on vacation. It doesn't, especially for executive leaders. We understand that what you're doing, your role, your responsibilities, your duties as a leader, it is really consuming, okay. There's pros and cons to that, but that's the importance, especially of executive leaders, of having congruency in your life, that fluidity between your private and personal life and your work and professional life. So, what we're wanting to do here is merge these two to realize that the more they align and there's balance, that's what we're going to see fulfillment and rest that God intends for us. Not just fulfillment, not just rest, but rest and fulfillment. It's possible, but we have to do the hard work. And that's exactly what it is. I can talk to you about this all day long, but unless you're willing to do the hard work, to be honest with yourself, to have those crucial conversations with your loved ones and your teammates and people that you co labor with, to help them understand what your needs are in these different seasons of life, oh my gosh, nothing will change. And seasons are all about change. Seasons are all about highs and lows, adapting, adjusting. And so, this is what I want us to understand is that in talking about the grace of knowing your season, listen, the grace of knowing what season of life you are in is a special gift from God. It is a special gift from God, that grace. And grace is our power. Grace is our capacity. Grace is our ability to do a thing. So when you have the grace of a knowing, being able to identify what season of life you're in, that's a power that you possess to be able to manage your work personal life balance concisely and purposefully, meaning intentionally, directly. Okay. And that's what we need more of, being more intentional, being more concise, purpose driven, constructive in what we do and how we do it. It's possible. It's possible, y'all. So, as we learn to better identify the seasons that we're in, let's talk about these 4 seasons of executive leadership, because it's not always summer. It's not always summer. It shouldn't always be summer. It would be detrimental to us if it was always summer. Okay, and we're going to talk more about why that is. But there are 4 seasons, not just one. All right, let's get into it. Let's begin with spring. Spring in executive leadership. And the key word here is an invigoration. Invigoration. Because what you're seeing in a type of spring season of your executive leadership is that maybe you're coming into something new. Maybe you're starting a new position. Maybe you're getting a new promotion. Maybe you're an executive for the first time. And it's invigorating. Oh gosh, you have so much energy and hopes during this season because you're learning, there's growth, there's development, you're building. Oh, I love that word, building. And gosh, not everyone likes to build. A lot of people just want move in ready, and that's okay. We need people who like move in ready. and can take things and run with it. But there are others of us who are builders, and executive leaders are builders. Middle managers, more so moving ready. I'm going to take it and run with it. Thanks for creating this. You did a great job. I'll take it from here, right? I'll make sure you get the outcomes that you want. That's great. We need those managers. But when you start getting into executive leadership and C suite, hey, we're builders. We're creating, okay, not just managing. And so that's invigorating. There's a lot of experimentation that's happening. You're just trying things out. You don't know. You don't know. We want to act like we know sometimes, but you have no clue what's going on. You have no clue how to do this. You're doing it for the first time. You're trying something new. You're experimenting. And many experiments fail before you find the right mix, the right formula, the right process to get the outcomes that you hope for or to see the change, regardless of what that change is. But we know that with experimentation, even though it's invigorating and you're like, oh God, what's going to happen? It's like you're using a lot of resources, you're taking a lot of time, right? And doing this, that growth and development is tedious. Yeah. In springtime, you're planting, you're planning, and preparing. Preparing for what? The next season. Yeah, because we know in life we don't stay in one season. It's not always spring. We're not always in a time of blooming or renewal. I love springtime. One of the things I love seeing in China that I didn't see in the way I do here, of course, I love to see the trees, starting to come back to life with the green here. But one of the things I love that you see here in the picture with the cherry blossoms. Oh my gosh, in spring, just beautiful, 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 beautiful. And it was just so nice because it was just such a great metaphor and representation of, you know what, we get another chance. This is new life. This is a new season. We don't have to go with what happened last season. This is a new season, and we have new opportunities, new chances to do something differently, to bless more people, to have further reach, to be more effective. And so that's what spring is about. It's really, really invigorating. But let's think about this. If you're having spring in your work life, starting a new position, maybe taking longer hours with training, you might need to spend more time with consultants and mentors to get a good understanding and grip on what it is you're called to do, right? And how so that you can learn to do it well. So in your personal life, you need to have conversations about, hey, y'all, this is something new. This is something new I'm starting. This is gonna be, I'm gonna might have to stay a little later at times. I might have to go to more trainings or travel more to get an understanding and get a handle on this. I might have to go look at some models. I might have to go spend some time observing some things, right? And that can kind of pull you away. But let's look at it on the opposite side. What if it's spring in your personal life? What if you're what is a new marriage? Ooh, you don't want to go start a new job and having a new marriage and building a house, all these new things at one time. Yikes. We do it, don't we? How does that work out? Something suffers. That's why we have to be intentional about, we don't always know everything. We can't always prepare for everything. I get that. But the things that we do know, the things that we can better have control over, we need to be more intentional with that. Okay? Because if it's spring in your personal life, you want to be very careful about the new projects and things you take on in your work life. All right, so that's spring, invigoration. Now it's summer and executive leadership. Okay, and then this is exhilaration. That's the key word here. Exhilaration. Oh my gosh, things are moving so fast, like a well oiled machine. There's rapid growth and momentum. There's clarity of vision. You know what you're doing. You're no longer having long conversations with mentors. You're no longer traveling, going to see people because you know what? You got it now. You got it. You know what needs to happen. You're in alignment with purpose. You understand it. You're thriving. High energy. You're experiencing lots of resiliency. Even though challenges are coming up, you're just like eating that for breakfast, eating that for breakfast, eating that for breakfast. You got it. You're having a lot of consistent wins and lots of organizational success. I mean, business is booming. Life is good in your work life. I mean, you're winning. You're on top. But let's think about what that also means to be in summer and to accomplish all of this. Okay? Even though it may be running like a well-oiled machine, that takes a lot of energy to sustain. So if it's summer at work, it might be real difficult for you to have the energy to give to certain things in your personal life outside of that. Right? If you're winning, you're getting a lot of recognition. This might be a lot more people pulling on you. Now people are calling you saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Show me, teach me, let me observe you." Right? That's the good thing about winning. But winning is not without energy, you know, or difficulties in sustaining it. That's why we don't want it to be summer all the time. Imagine staying in this state all the time, staying in this competitive state all the time. Even as organizations, we got to know that sometimes we got to pull back on summer. And if we don't pull back on summer, summer is going to make itself, pull back. Okay? Fall's going to come in with a vengeance, or winter. And we're going to get to that in a second. But when you're seeing this in your work life, it's summer. What kind of conversations do you need to have, right, in your personal life? Gosh, I remember when I was in my PhD program. I'll put my face here. I remember when I was starting PhD program. At that season of my life, I was not only starting. I had just graduated from my master's program on a Friday. I started my PhD classes on a Monday, that next Monday. Okay. At that same time, I was working full time. Okay. I was also the founding member of a church. And so that is when we were coming together and doing planning and all of that. And I remember having, these crucial conversations with my family, with my pastor saying, gosh, I know that this is what we're doing. I know that this is what needs to happen, but this is a very challenging season of my life where, I can be there for the time that you said, but my schedule's so tight that if we begin to go over, I might have to leave, or I know that the family wants to do this together, but because I have so much going on and so many deadlines I have to meet, I might not be able to join you, right? And so those were some crucial conversations that need to be had, because otherwise, if you don't provide information, okay, thinking about that poise model, if you don't provide information and explain what's going on, then people won't get an understanding. And understanding is important. We should want people to understand. They may not, even after you've given information. Well, that's no longer on you. But that sincerity of wanting them to understand, wanting to be open and honest about what this season of life requires of you, and not getting ahead of yourself or giving people a false sense of expectation from you. That's so important. That's so important. And if we're honest, we don't do this well, but we should. Because when you come out of that season and you're in another season, you'll still have those relationships. You'll still have the respect. You'll still have the trust. You'll still have the loyalty and commitment because of the way you managed your summer. Okay. So yes, I was at a time of winning. Things were going so well, but it was a lot. And it required a lot of energy from me. And so I had to have those conversations. Okay. All right. And you should too. Then here comes fall. All right. And the key word here is stabilization. Okay. Fall and executive leadership looks like stabilization. personal contentment. You're not going. Now things have kind of mellowed down a little bit. Temperatures have cooled off. It's not as hot, right? You get to get cozy in a hoodie. Enjoy the nice hot teas, and now holiday season's coming. It's like it's like I can slow down a little bit now. I can slow down to do more meaningful things. I have contentment. I'm happy with this. There, I see stability. I see consistency. Things aren't just going. But now it's like I am starting to build habits, and I can create processes of ways of doing because I know what works. Okay, there's peace in this season. It's very motivational because it's value centric. Okay, this is a time where you can focus in on what matters to you, what is meaningful to you, and really have that time of integration of lessons learned. What lessons did you learn in spring? What lessons did you learn in the summer? And fall just gives you an opportunity to kind of reflect on all of that and embrace what worked and trash what didn't. Okay. So fall, even though we think, oh, it's the fall, it's not the fall. It's autumn. It's cozy. It's comfortable. And we need seasons like that where we're not doing something new. We're not learning. We're also not high momentum, going, but just it's stable and comfortable. I'm looking forward to fall. I'm in spring. Spring is cute. It's pretty. It's invigorating. But there are challenges in learning about running a business, about consulting and all of that because you want to do it well. So I'm in spring. I'm looking forward to fall. Oh, okay. I can't skip summer. Yes, I definitely want summer. Okay, and my summer is coming. But fall, that would be nice. But then we also have winter. Okay, winter. Winter in executive leadership is the key word here is disintegration. Things aren't so much coming together, but it seems they're falling apart. Winter's cold. It's not cozy. It's abrasive. Okay. In winter, you might experience losses, financial loss, maybe loss of relationships. Okay, because of maybe how things weren't managed well. You might experience a demotion. You might experience even maybe a loss of your job. Or maybe there was a scandal and it's just like, gosh, it's just a really difficult time. Winter is when you might experience some depression and anxiety, doubt of yourself, maybe uncertainty as to your future, your purpose. It's a very humbling time, though. Winter is humbling. And let's be honest, a lot of executive leaders, we need to be humbled, maybe too prideful. Maybe we think that we're too arrogant. Maybe we think, yeah, they can't do it without us. Well, even though you are difficult to replace, um, and there's no one who can do exactly what you can do, that doesn't mean that there might not come a time when that needs to happen because of your failure to align with your roles and responsibilities, your position, your priorities, with your purpose. Okay, and so sometimes humility is necessary. Well, it's not sometimes; it's always necessary. And so that's where degradation comes into play, right? That degrading, less rank, less value. Depending on how you've been performing in the organization, people might start seeing that you're less valuable. And because of that, low self efficacy begins to creep in. You really don't believe that you can do this anymore, or maybe you feel like you're just not the right person or don't have the right skill set to achieve the responsibilities. or should I say, execute the responsibilities and duties that you have. There's a lack of a motivation in this season, but that also can cause deep reflection and evaluation of your performance, what matters to you, um, and that's important. No one likes winter. Okay, yes. Okay, let me go back. I know what you're thinking is like some people do like winter, some people do like Christmas, and yeah, those are the holidays, right? But the abrasiveness of winter is very difficult um, to prepare for and endure in many cases. Okay, I love snow, but gosh, I know I prayed for snow. What, last February or 2 Februarys ago? Or maybe was that, I can't, was that last February when we had the big Texas storm? Day one was great. Day two was like, oh, okay. But then when, our power went out, we had no heat, and it's still snowing, and people were dying, people in horrible situations. Like, okay, 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 okay. All right. I don't want snow anymore. I don't want this anymore. Okay, so it's like that harshness of winter is very difficult to embrace. But imagine having winter in your work life. What balance do you need in your personal life? You need summer. And you need summer in your personal life. You need to be winning. Okay. There needs to be great things happening. You're getting that house. You finally found that life partner. Like you need summer. You need summer. Do we always get winter in work life and then a personal summer? No, I'm sorry. We don't. Sometimes, regardless of how much we've planned and prepared, sometimes we experience winter in both work life and personal life. What then? What then? You need to be centered. I'm centered in faith. Sometimes life hits you hard. It does. It just, whoo, knocks the breath out of you sometimes. But we have to be centered in something greater than ourselves and knowing that there is some stability in something else than me. And that's where my faith comes into play. That's why I believe in a God who I know is going to take care of me and look after me. And even when my situation doesn't change, that He instills something in me that helps me to endure. And so I pray that you have that. I pray that you have that relationship with God. But if you don't, my question to you is, then what is greater than you that sustains you? Because if you take ownership of stability, if you take ownership of all of that, and I'm not talking about being intentional, right, and using wisdom, but what I'm saying is if you take responsibility for your own stability, then that means you're the one who's responsible for also sustaining it. And that looks like winter all year long to me. What do you think? Okay, so that's the seasons. We have spring, we have summer, we have fall. Okay, but as we think about what that means for work life, personal life, and how we should have crucial conversations around you know these different seasons of our life, gosh, y'all, do you feel more empowered? Like, I hope that you're taking a moment that as we're going through this, you're saying, yeah, I'm in this season in my work life. I'm in this season in my personal life. Wow, I need to have some conversations. I need to really sit down with my loved ones. I need to really sit down with my supervisor, my superior, and have a conversation about the season that I'm in. Okay? And the things that I need in this season so that I can have an even better season than the one I'm having right now. Okay? So that's the importance and the grace of knowing what season you're in. So let's review. I wanted to do a quick review at the end of this one because I know it was going to be a little bit shorter than the others about what we've talked about, those key components of episodes 1 and 2, and then this one 3. Okay, so in episode 1, we first talked about alignment. Okay, because this series is alignment and balance in executive leadership. And so in episode 1, we talked about alignment and executive leadership and what that looks like. And it's 12 elements of alignment, using purpose as our anchor. Because the fact is that unless you know your purpose in life, alignment, which fosters work, personal life fulfillment, and rest, is not achievable. It's not. It's not. You have to know your purpose. And if you're watching this episode for the first time, for first and not the others, then I've spoken on this several times. I'm going to say it again. If you don't know what your purpose is, find it. That is your most crucial priority right now, is to identify that, to pray for God to reveal that to you. And if you don't know what that is, to pray, for God to do that. And then also, in the meantime, fulfill the greatest commandment: love God and love people. And that current job you have, be intentional about loving God and loving people. And those relationships you have, be intentional about loving God and loving people. Glorifying God, having relationships, and um, executing your roles and responsibilities as a wife, a father, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, an auntie, an uncle, and so on, according to God's word, or that faith that you're a part of, that you believe in. Align, find purpose in that. Okay. And so that's where it begins. And then from there, we'll align our position. Position meaning that role and responsibility you have at work, your priorities. Okay. You'll learn to prioritize your priorities better. Your partnerships, meaning the relationships that you have. Your place, meaning the location that you're in. Are you in the right organization? Are you in the right state? Are you in the right country? Okay. Are you in the right region? Because what you have access to, the people you have access to, allergens even, all has a role to play in that. Your posture, meaning your mindset, your perspective, your lens, is it in alignment with your purpose? Do you think the right things? Have you even thought and reflected on that question recently? Am I thinking the right way about this? Am I looking at this the right way? Or is there another way to look at this? Your personality, your character, the way you, um, treat people, the way you talk, things like that, the words you use, and there's nothing wrong with being you. But sometimes we have to understand that depending on the role that we have, there are better ways to communicate than the way that we most feel comfortable doing, or the way we've always done it before. Sometimes we need to look at our personality and say, do I need to grow in this area? Okay. Your power, your grace, your capacity, your abilities, your skills, your training, your gifts, your talents, your education, that's your power. Okay. Is it in alignment with your purpose? Or is that something that you need to go learn? Is there something that you need to know? Okay. Presentation, how you show up. How you show up. Do you look the right way? Do you have an appeal about yourself? I've always often said that you can tell a lot about what people think of something by how they show up, how they present themselves. There have been times when, like, I've known people who didn't think much of, let's say, being asked to speak at an event. And because they didn't think much of that, or didn't think, oh, well, this isn't anything I need to prepare for. Oh, they're not. I mean, they're not really doing much over here. This is just a little get together. They don't have a lot of power and influence, but they want me to come. And then they show up, and they really haven't prepared anything because they were like, oh, this is not a big deal, you know, or they're like, I don't have to really wear suits or look professional. I mean, what is this really? I'm just gonna wear a t-shirt and some jeans. It'll be okay. And then you get there and like everyone's in professional dress, you know. Um, how we show up and present ourselves tells a lot, and how you present yourself can play a big role as to whether people are distracted by, you know, the lack of preparation put into your presentation to get an idea of if they're even going to understand or take anything from what you have to say. So presentation needs to be in alignment with the purpose. Practice your habits, your ways of doing things, your methods, your processes, the things that you're exercising. That's important. Okay, the diet that you have, that's the practice. It's like you do it every day. So the quality of your diet, um, the habits that you're putting into what you eat, how you cook, and all of that, is that in alignment with your purpose? Because if you don't have the energy, or if that's affecting other things, right? Or your methods just aren't in alignment with um, executive leadership, for example. Um, gosh, there's so many people I know who, and I was just talking with a friend about this yesterday. It's like no one wants to use a contract anymore. And the lack of contract, or the lack of really, having that practice of using contracts, can jeopardize your relationships. It can jeopardize your trust. Because to me, if we haven't started out with an agreement, meaning that these are the things that we say we expect from each other, and that's an agreement, just like vows in a marriage, okay? Then that kind of leaves room for that other person can kind of just do whatever they want. And my question is, why would you want to just do whatever you want? If there's a question about an expectation, why wouldn't you want to have a standard that has already been agreed upon that we can refer back to? That doesn't sit well with me. The Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? Right? How can we go on a journey together as business partners or doing this together if we don't first have a contract that says that we agree to this as to what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and so on? And so that practice of not wanting to use contracts is it's like we got to do better with that because it's important. It doesn't mean that negotiations still don't have a role, right? But let that happen before the contract. Negotiate and then have something in writing as to what it is that you agree to. So it doesn't mean you don't still get to play that or use that to your advantage, but we still need to use contracts. I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, another thing that needs to be aligned is prosperity. Okay, our overall wellness, our growth and development is in alignment with our purpose. Okay, because if I am not if I don't have good financial wellness, then how is it that I'm able to get where I need to be able to do what I need to do? Just as one example. And there's 12 dimensions of wellness. Also, go check out my series last month. Um, oh gosh, I forget the name of it right now. When I talked about the 12 dimensions of wellness, I think it was pruning. Was it pruning or spirit? I did two. That's why I'm having difficulty remember the other one, because for the first time I did two in a month. Um, Regardless, I talked about 12 dimensions of wellness. So prosperity is a big part of that. There's a lot that goes into that on its own. And then principles, what you believe, your value system, um, your work ethic, all of that is in alignment with your purpose. Okay. And when we do it well, what we're going to see is fulfillment and rest. Fulfillment and rest. So go check out episode number 1, where I talk about these in more detail. And then in episode number 2, we talked about the 7 elements of work personal life balance. Okay, which one? The first one was alignment. Going back to, purpose that we just talked about, starting with that as an anchor, okay, and making sure that that not making sure, but these are the 7 ways that you can be assured that you have work personal life balance. When you see this in both work and your personal life, okay? So alignment with your purpose, rest, okay? Taking your breaks, taking some time off, not feeling overwhelmed, you're able to sleep well, that matters. Productivity, that you're actively pursuing your goals, okay? That you're getting things done. You're taking that first step. You're continuing in the process. Okay? It's trackable. And so that's important because I've realized to me how important it is for me to be productive. And even in regards to my mental health, and I talked about that in episode 2. Peace. You have peace. Now, peace is not the lack of conflict. That seems to be the big thing. It's like, especially with regard to relationships now, everyone's talking about be his peace or, be her peace. And well, let me tell you something about peace. And I think people are getting this wrong. Peace is not the lack of conflict. Okay? Just because someone addresses something with you or there's a crucial conversation that needs to be had, that doesn't mean you don't have peace. Now, if your peace is that easily interrupted, reflect on that. Okay? Because you can have peace and still have some conflict that needs to be addressed. What we're looking for is that there's not chronic conflict. Okay, toxic um, situations that are constantly present, consistently there. Okay. Also, stability. That's a biggie, meaning you have grace for that season. I have learned I don't want to be anywhere where I no longer have grace. And you can tell when God has given you grace for even the most difficult situations, the most difficult jobs, because you make it look easy, even though you know it's not. People are just like, oh my God, you make it look easy. That's God's grace. That's not you. Okay. But I also know what it feels like when my grace is running out. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this much longer. I'm almost at my wits end. Like this just no matter what I do, it just isn't working out. Like I can't do any more here. I can't make any more changes. I can't try any more strategies. Like, it's like that's what you hear all the time in your spirit. It's like, right. That's when you know your grace is like running out. And God is encouraging you, pushing you to seek other opportunities to be in alignment with where he's taking you. Okay. Also, you'll see satisfaction in both areas of your life, meaning content. I'm not saying overjoyed. I'm not saying gung ho happy, but I'm saying content. Okay. There is a joy that goes deeper than what's happening in your life. And that's a great thing to have, contentment. And with satisfaction. And then the 7th element being growth. Growth. Going back to that word like prosperity. You're well. You're well. Okay. Um, and that's important. And the good thing is that even when we see things that we've lost or things that have died in our life, there's still an opportunity for something else to come in its place. Okay. So even if you're in a season of like, you're like, I see things dying right before me, the hope of what comes after that is that there's there's an opportunity for growth. There's now a vacancy, a void for something great to come in its place. So be encouraged. So those are the seven elements. Go learn more about that in episode 2. And then today, just to wrap up, the 4 seasons, we have spring, keyword being invigoration, summer, exhilaration, fall, stabilization, and winter, disintegration. That's what's happening. So I encourage you to think about what season of work life are you in? What season of personal life are you in? And what crucial conversations do you need to have to help you better manage both so that you can achieve alignment and rest, okay, and balance for fulfillment and rest, okay? Because what does all of this matter? Alignment, balance, fulfillment, rest. Well, we talked about all the statistics about how unhappy people are, how people are experiencing burnt out, how they want to walk away, and how people don't quit jobs, they quit managers, they quit leaders. Well, guess what? Most of the leaders, as we can see via data, are burnt out, overwhelmed, at their wits' end, exhausted, tired, can't give anymore, ready to throw up their hands, ready to walk away. And those are the people that you're expecting to encourage you. I want you to see my face. let's put that in context. We have so many problems in the workplace. Well, look at the people who are expected to do something about it, to make a change, to be pioneering this transformation. They're over it. You're over it. What are we going to do about it? We have to do something about it. But you have to recognize the role that you have and the responsibilities that you have, how dire your task is. You got to get a grip on your personal and overall wellness, because this is the truth of the matter. The heart of an effective executive leader is woven into the fabric of the organization. You got to know that. As an executive leader, in a C-suite leader, listen, what you do there is such a major part of that organization. Your heart is woven into the fabric, okay? You're the thought leader, you're the visionary, you are the chief servant. What you do there is indispensable. I don't care what the board of directors has to say and what they want you to believe about your job. Okay, I don't care what your superiors, your colleagues have to say. Your role is indispensable. Therefore, you must take care of yourself because you need to be present. Your presence is distinctive from any other role in that organization. Your presence is necessary. Your presence matters. But when you're not well, when you're not healthy, when you're not in alignment, when you're out of balance, how can you show up? And if you do show up, are you really showing up? Are you really present? And so that's what the goal is here, is to help you realize how important you are and how important it is for you to lead yourself well. To be the C-suite, the CEO, the CFO, the COO, okay, that you want for yourself. Okay? That's what we need to get to. So I pray that you have been encouraged. I pray that your mind has opened, that you have heard, you have understood, and that you are inspired to make some changes, to do things differently. I am here to help. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me at contact@leadmyheart.com. Also, go check out my website at leadmyheart.com to learn more about me and to learn more about how I can be of help to you and to partner with you in helping you achieve your goals to be everything that God has created you to be. Okay? Let me know your thoughts on this, not only this episode, but this series. Feel free to comment below and ask any questions or offer any advice or suggestions that you may have. And again, be a part of the learning community and sharing your ideas as well. So that's it for this series. And I do want to invite you to watch next month's series called The Anatomy of a Heart Leader. Oh, I'm excited about this. We're going to talk about what a heart leader is, with regards to, of course, spiritual leadership. What are the mindsets that we have? What are the ways of doing that we have? What are our beliefs? How do we operate? What's in our heart? Okay. And so we're going to talk about that. And it's going to be really different. I think a unique perspective on how we look at leadership. And so I definitely want you to join me. Okay. And, I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day. But remember, in everything you do and with everything you have, I'm going to say that again. In everything you do and with everything you have, love God and love people. That's the call. All right, you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. God bless you.